In the world of film photography, the name Hasselblad is titanic. A lot of the film cameras that this company used to make are considered by photographers today to be some of the best film cameras in the world. And today, I'm going to be shooting with one of them. This is the Hasselblad 500cm, and just to be clear, I'm borrowing this camera from someone I know. Sadly, I don't own it myself. The plan was to put at least 2 rolls of film through this camera before returning it. One black and white roll and one color roll. I figured HP5 is a pretty safe place to start, so that's what I went with first. Okay, the arrow is lined up with the arrow on the back, so I guess it's ready to load. I didn't put it in backwards, did I? I think I did, actually. I shouldn't be seeing the backing paper. Yeah, no, I totally didn't note this right. It is a really good thing I noticed that. Can you imagine if the first roll I shot in this was completely blank? Like, I might just quit film photography if I did that. There. Arrow lines up with the arrow on top. I should probably put this in before things get terrible. There we have it. Locked and loaded. With the camera loaded, I went out into the world and started shooting. Of that crow or that duck over there. I don't know if they're going to cooperate, but I'm going to see if I can do it. In the end, the best I could do was take a picture of the duck. Next to the beach I was visiting was a viewpoint located at the top of a hill. After getting lost a few times and climbing through the whimsical woods, I eventually found the spot. Whoa. There's no way that the scale of this comes across on camera. But that is amazing. This is a really good view. That's where I came from down there. And I went all the way. Now I'm here. Right here. And yeah, that was worth it. I'm gonna get my picture now. After climbing back down the hill, I went to a different beach to snag a few more pictures. On my way home, I also grabbed this picture of a car that's seen better days. After taking the cat's picture, I took one of myself in the mirror while the setting sun beamed in through the window. I already have some experience shooting medium format, specifically with my Yashica 12 TLR. For fun, let's compare it to the Hasselblad. The viewfinders both look gorgeous. The fine focus magnifier on the Yashica is actually a lot nicer for me to look through as someone with glasses, since I don't have to put my eye as close to it as I do with the Hasselblad. The shutter sound that the Hasselblad makes is really satisfying, but it's also really loud. I'd never take this camera out to do street photography, whereas my Yashica 12's shutter is a lot more subtle. In fact, I've actually already gotten some candid pictures of strangers with it. One unique and huge advantage that the Hasselblad has over other medium format cameras is its modular nature. Almost everything on the Yashica 12 is unchangeable, including the lens, but you can swap out any piece of the Hasselblad. I especially love the film back system, which allows you to do stuff like take double exposures if you want, or if the shutter didn't fire for some reason, you can take the film back off to try fixing it without ruining the roll. With the black and white roll out of the way, I loaded up a roll of Portra 160 to test how good this camera is with color. Once again, I wandered around outside to grab some shots during the day. I'm standing in the water for this shot. Jeez. Now, if I'm being honest, I actually had a pretty hard time finding interesting subjects to shoot. I wasn't unhappy with the shots I was getting, but none of them really felt inspired to me. For the second half of the roll, I decided to change that by doing some long exposure shots of burning steel wool. With this technique, I wanted to see what sort of results I could get by containing the sparks in a confined space, so I decided to do this in some abandoned concrete buildings. Since I needed an extra hand, I asked my friend Colin to join me.
What do you need me to do here?
You're gonna be standing like here.
Cool.
So to be perfectly clear about how are we doing this, I'm gonna be standing here and the circle's going like this.
Cool.
So all the sparks, like literally nothing is gonna come towards. Up. Push in. Release. Well, I mean, we got something else.
That looked sick for 1 second.
After that slightly unsatisfying run, I did one more spin for fun before moving on. Why couldn't it do that before? That was amazing. That one was so good.
That was awesome. Sorry, I turned that on earlier than you said.
No, that's cool. Okay. Camera in the corner. We're pointing over here. Light. Start. Stop. Nice.
Well done. That was sick.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was so even too.
That's great.
The smell.
I know. It's a cheap Chinese fireworks. Okay, we're in a much larger room now. Yeah. So this is the room we're filming in. It's very large, and it's gonna be awesome. Right. Perfect. Light. Go. Stop.
Not as good as the first one. I don't know if it just like fell out or what.
These steel wool shots are by far my favorite thing on this roll. Both the experience of watching them happen in real life and the resulting photos just never fail to mesmerize me. As of now, that's all of the shots I've taken with the Hasselblad. My closing thoughts are that this camera is pretty fantastic, and it goes without saying that the Zeiss lens on the front of this thing is probably the sharpest lens I've ever used. However, this camera isn't necessarily something you'd want to take out on a photo walk. It's definitely intended for professional shoots, where its boxy and obtrusive nature is invited rather than being a hindrance. I'm not saying it's unenjoyable to use in a more casual setting, it's just that it's not super convenient when you're trying to use it for an everyday camera. If you're really serious about photography, I'd say go for it. If you want something that's fun but also high quality, then I'd look into getting a Rolleiflex or a Yashica TLR instead. That's about everything from me. Thanks for watching, everybody. On the way home, I also saw this car that's been in some kind of an accident.